Well, here I am in New York City, and I'm on 9th Avenue, close to where I'm staying, the apartment I'm staying at. And before I check in, I've come to Starbucks, and I'm going to check out this city tomorrow. It's raining outside, so it's not a great day, but I'll be checking in again tomorrow to tell you more about New York. What I have discovered is that there is an incredible sense of needing to be secure. They keep on telling you, make sure your wallet is not in your back pocket and make sure that you have your belongings very close to you. So that's my first impression about New York. Well, hello fellow South Africans. I'm in New York City, in a lovely apartment, and I had the opportunity today to actually have my first interview with a lovely lady, and without further ado, I'll put the interview on, and I hope you enjoy it. It's very, very insightful. Cheers. Okay, I'm here at Starbucks and I'm talking to Victoria, and Victoria has been in America basically all her life, and what I wanted to ask Victoria is, what do you see happening in America today compared to what happened in the 1960s? And we're talking about the rising disruption of these groups like Antifa and so on.
In the 60s, I believe that many groups were pursuing a better America, and they had different views. And I was a teenager. I was in college in the 60s, and what I saw is that we were all trying to make America better and had different ideas on how to do it. And what I see now is unfortunately tearing apart America in different directions. I don't hear anything about anyone's vision for making America better. I rarely hear that. I hear more about the destruction of values, but not about building up new values, or about any improvement that we could either work separately or together on. I see that as really a large problem.
And what about the funding of Antifa? Do you have any thoughts about that? Who's behind it, and the signs, and you know?
Well, the impression that I really have, and I was studying it, having been in the 60s and also having been an environmentalist years ago, back in the 70s, I know what it is to put on a demonstration or a protest, and how you get permits, and how you get sound equipment, and how you get signs. And what it is like for people to make their own signs, and just to get the materials and the space to produce your own signs. And I know what they look like in photographs. I know what signs that are homemade look like on film and on the news. It's important to get the coverage for any demonstration that you do, particularly to get your exact message out. And that's so important. However, the signs that I saw, coverage from yesterday from Antifa, really shocked me, because they were not homemade signs at all. They were very expensive, professionally made signs, and I was in shock that a group that appeared to be an uprising of the people, I would easily estimate they had $100,000 in signs.
Wow.
And I did not see all the pictures of all of the signs, but just the crowd scenes that I saw. I was shocked, because it seemed to me it has to be funded from the outside and was not funded by local people or just an interest group that decided to have a demonstration that day. And I've heard that certain people, including Mr. Soros, have funded them. I don't personally know if that's true, but I do know that they had a fortune that they spent on those signs.
Yeah.
And that really undermines, to my mind, freedom of speech and democracy, because how can you compete on your own funds with people that have professional signs
Professional backers.
when you're trying to raise money for a bus or cars and gas, you're trying to raise money for a legal permit, and they show up without permits and with professional signs. How can you have an equal right to speak and have your right to speak?
Well, their main objective seems to be actually disrupt, isn't it?
Well, I still have the goal that people should work together, and I still believe in freedom of speech, and I think that when one side has so much money, the other side, or the many other sides, or the many other voices cannot compete on their own funds to get their message out. And I think getting your message out is important, and general disruption is chaos. And I don't think that's the way that our country should go.
Yeah.
And we've seen through history what happens when countries get taken up by chaos.
Yeah.
And we do not want that way to go with our country.
Yeah. And do you think that America's headed for a civil war between these groups like Antifa and the Proud Patriots?
Well, I am not sure. I'm not familiar with that other group.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that name on the internet.
They're the Republican backing.
Well,
people.
I'm not familiar with them, and, and having some experience, I don't like to comment on anyone that I don't know about. However, I think that I don't think we're headed toward a civil war, but I think that the general population needs to be aware that there are people that are disruptive, and we need to be outspoken individually about what we think and what's good for our country as a whole.
Yeah, okay. And projecting ahead, if the police don't do something about Antifa, which seems to be spreading and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, what do you think the outcome will be?
Well, I don't think it's spreading and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I think it's the same people going from place to place.
Ah, so you think they're just moving from city to city?
I think they're hired.
Yeah.
I think they're hired and moving around.
Right.
I don't think they're getting bigger.
Yeah.
I think a popular uprising, popular interests, or local people speaking up on their own viewpoints.
Yeah.
My impression is it's a group that moves around.
Yeah.
We should not be afraid of them.
Yeah.
But we should all be speaking to our own opinions about what's best for the country.
All right. Thank you very, very much,
Sure.
Victoria. Very good. Thank you.